Hey everybody, it's Alisamurray here with another Martini Talk, and today I'm visiting with my good friend Eshantee with C&G. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So talk to me. Tell me what's going on.
Wow, so much is going on. I'm sure you're aware as we've been going through this whole COVID time and season, a lot of things have changed, and so it's always extremely busy. The whole pivot action that has gone forth from a lot of companies and individuals in general has created a momentum of busyness. So right now, it's good. Everything is good.
Good.
Yeah. Resources are important, and that's something that we specialize in.
I know.
So being able to offer those resources at this time has been a great pivot point for us, as well as a great resource for others.
Yeah. And so explain a little bit to all of the people that are listening on the podcast or watching on the YouTube channel, sort of the whole broad spectrum, because what I love about your company, and well, I love a lot about your company, and one of the things I love about your company is that you do it with your husband, which is awesome, because you all know me and Uncle Brian, that's the only way we roll, right?
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I love is that it's like me as well, in that you don't just stop with the one thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as I care for the client through photography, travel, real estate, inspiration, whatever it is that I'm doing, or for their children, you do the same thing for your clients. You're caring for them in multiple ways that are all going to make their lives better.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So for us at Circle Network Group Inc., we are a business consulting firm with a healthcare and business development niche. So I like to say the best way to put it is that we connect need to resource.
Mm-hmm.
We like to be able to diversify what we're able to offer, because resources are important. That's the business that we're in. So we have several different departments that we have resources in. Healthcare, we've got business, finance, technology, and nonprofit as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have resources within all of those industries to provide our clientele with the connection that they need to be able to better themselves,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's financially, whether it's market wise, whether it's procuring government contracts and commercial contracts, whatever point they are in stage in their life, whether it's I was about to say residential.
Yeah.
Whether it's personally or business-wise,
yeah.
right? We support them,
Yeah.
and so we like to say that we build by helping others.
Right.
And so the first step is just being able to sit down and communicate with others. What is your issue? What's going on? What are your pain points? And how can we be able to apply our network and our resources to being able to help you better yourself, better your company, and the fulfillment of success all the way around.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's honestly, what I've realized in terms of just, not just COVID,
Mm-hmm.
but just in general, being in business for 22 years, it's all about making sure that you're just there. I mean, like, if you listen to what someone needs and you don't have the ability yourself to take care of it, if you have built a network, you know where to put them, where to show them, here's another referral, here's who you need to talk to on whatever that may be, you know, and we do that a lot, more so in real estate,
Mm-hmm.
And a little bit of that connection when we're trying to build that perfect vacation,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of differences between taking the children on vacation versus taking yourself and your husband on vacation. And there's a lot of people that want specific types of experiences that one resort may or may not be able to offer, but it's not very dissimilar to what you're doing in
Mm-hmm.
terms of, which is really cool, because when we were talking earlier, it's like you kind of sit with somebody and say, hey, this is what I do, but this is what I need to find out first, is what do you need.
Absolutely.
And then once you've met that conversation with some information about what they need, then you're able to connect the dots and put everybody to each other's hands, so that they can help each other, which is great, which is what it's all about.
That's it. I like to say, I'm not going to coin the phrase because I'm pretty sure someone said it before I did, but networking is the bridge to opportunity.
Yep.
And that is important on the side of the resource as well as the client, right? So that listening part that you said is important, because a lot of companies get stuck in what we provide and what we offer. You either take it or you leave it.
Right.
But there's always a market for aiding and assisting in people's needs.
And it doesn't have to involve any money.
It does not.
And that's the thing that just cracks me up. When people call me and they'll say, well, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, whatever it is that they need. And I'll say, well, I can't personally do that because I don't have the skill set for that, right? But I know who can.
Right.
And they're like, well, what do I owe you? I'm like, you don't owe me anything.
Right.
This is called being kind, being sweet. Sweet life, that's just called being sweet, right? Just being what you're doing what you're supposed to do, which is just being there as a resource. And sometimes that does come back and you end up with a great big wonderful client for years and years and years because they know that they've got that relationship with you and can count on you to, and it almost always does
Absolutely.
come back.
Absolutely.
So it's always funny because I always say to people, they always think, especially when I have small businesses who are brand new entrepreneurs, they think that they've got to go after that dollar, and they've got to stop thinking that way and say, I need to do this to serve you.
Absolutely.
And once I've served you and then I've helped you with no money, then when the time comes that you're ready and you need something that I can give you that is for money, hopefully that will be, reciprocated. And most of the time, almost always it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to planting seeds, right? People, and I found this just within the industry, in any industry you're in, people have a tendency to believe that if someone else gets that opportunity, then that's taking money away from their organization.
Exactly. So
they
true.
don't like to do that.
Right.
And they don't realize that there's strength in numbers and you need a team to connect you. And so that referral is automatically planting a seed for that to be reciprocated, because that's just the way that the universe works.
Yeah.
You plant in, you put in, you receive it back out. It doesn't have to be in the form that you gave it that you receive it. And so being able to build that relationship and being able to network with people and maneuver, hey, you're a specialist in this, that's excellent, because what it has done is been able to open up our platform to being able to expand. We started off in healthcare,
Right.
We started off in healthcare and having that niche, and then through those connections we've been able to diversify.
Expanded.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing that happened to me.
Teamwork.
Which is, man, not only that, but it's the same thing. It's like, I started doing photography, and then they were like, well, we need you to help us with travel, and we need you to help us with real estate. We need to help you with entrepreneurship and helping start our businesses or whatever it is, marketing and whatever. And you never know what door's going to open.
Absolutely.
And you have to have an open mind about it, because you just never know. And I honestly think through COVID, this particular year has been almost a God wink of sorts. It's just been an amazing opportunity to meet people that I never would have met, to be connected to things that I never would have thought I would be connected to. I'm over here writing this column for 15 years, and I never in my wildest dreams thought I was going to be creating a Sweet Life Garden, Sweet Life Kitchen, and Sweet Life DIY.
Absolutely amazing.
Or Martini Talk, or any of that, right?
Absolutely.
But that has come and been birthed from that. And I have to believe, just because of my belief system, that the seeds of this today, this with me and you, and what we get to do together and help each other with our businesses through our networking, but also with the COVID changes, this seed was planted way back in 2006 when I started writing that column.
Absolutely.
To give me the ability and basis to have the ability to help people.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, everything happens. People don't like that statement. Everything happens for a reason, but honestly, it does.
You can't escape it when it's true. You're going to keep hearing it because it's the truth. Everything is connected. It's interconnected. Everything, every action has a reaction, whether we want to believe it or not. The truth is that the universe is going to give you exactly back what you've put into it. Right. And that happens on so many ways. I think that people get caught in accountability, and that's something that I don't even know if it's ever really been there. That's the difference, I like to say, between the people and the king.
Yeah.
The accountability.
Yeah.
Who wants to take accountability is the person that's going to be able to maneuver differently than the people that don't want to take accountability. But in our own lives, we are our own kings of our lives. And so that accountability lies on our doorstep every single day, whether we want to say that it affects something or it doesn't.
Right.
So you're very correct. Back when you were writing that column, it was preparing for this, because every action has a reaction.
Yeah.
If you hadn't done that, what would have happened? Alternate universe, what would have happened? We don't know.
Idea.
But you did. You were obedient to that fact of, there's a seed in me. I can't let this be stifled out by whatever the case may be. I'm going to plant it. And just like that amazing garden that you have out there,
so
that
sweet.
Is filled with everything. Like, I'm literally going shopping at her house. Like, okay, here's the produce aisle.
It's so funny,
it's amazing.
Sister. So many people who have come to see me when they saw the garden in years past.
Yeah.
Right? They've come to see me for photos, and they a few tomato plants and some bell peppers and some jalapenos and whatever. And, enough to feed us.
Yeah.
Like, and not have to go to the grocery store, like, all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this year I just went crazy because I didn't have, that's where I went crazy.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, I went crazy because you're stuck in your house. Now, I wasn't stuck in my house, because I'm always in my house, because I've always worked from home. But when I got into the mode of tunnel vision gardening, I planted everything. I planted everything.
That's amazing.
And so when the kids come, it's so sweet, because they're like, well, Auntie A, because they all call me Auntie A. Auntie A, what do you have in the garden this year? And I'm like, well, tell me what your favorite vegetables are.
Yeah.
And they'll start naming stuff, and I'll go, yep, got that. Yep, got that too. And their eyes get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it really is true. I mean, and you saw it. It's just crazy, but it's a lot of work too. I will give you. I will say that for people that don't know how to garden, don't start that. Because it's kind of like a whole thing. Like, I mean, I literally lament at the end of the day because I know I've got to be in here doing my thing in marketing and writing and working with everybody and taking care of everybody, and I can't get out there. And I'm like, oh, but those needed to have a little bit of compost today, and it really would have been better if I'd done a little bit more watering, and I should have done this today in that garden. And I could literally get up every day and be out there and not do anything but that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is that big of a job.
It is huge.
I mean, each job I have is a big job, right?
Yes.
And you know how that works because you and I are juggling. The struggle is real.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
The struggle is real when you got serial multipreneurism in your brains. So for women, boss babes like we are, it's okay, which one are we going to do today? And that's just going to have to sit on the back burner. And if it means I got to go buy some more okra at the grocery store because I didn't pick the okra in time, it's just gonna that's the sacrifice that has to be made on that. But I will say I'm not sorry I did it.
Absolutely.
It is beautiful, but it's a lot of work.
It requires a lot, and that goes just to who much is given, much is required. So you put in a lot. Your effort that you did while COVID was going on and everyone was on lockdown was in creating life. And that is huge because that's applicable just across the board. You know, those that chose to pivot, those that got stagnated.
So many people. I cannot tell you. I'm working on. I talked to you earlier about. I'm creating courses.
Yes.
And I'm creating courses for the children, and I'm creating courses for the adults. And I cannot tell you how many people need positive energy. And for those of us, me, you, that are like oozing it, right? They just gravitate to us because we just wake up and it's the sunshine all day.
Right.
Like there's not any, and if you come near me with a negative, I'm just kind of like, ooh, okay, ooh, go away. Because I don't have any, there's no moment in my brain that I think that way. I mean, I'm constantly thinking about positive and new and go and forward and next. Not anything happening in the past. I'm not blinders off to what's happening around me in the moment. And not to say I'm not being mindful or anything, but I am not focused on the now right now, because the now right now is not a positive now right now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I mean, like, we don't know. We don't know how long. We don't know when.
Absolutely.
And people will call and go, well, when can I book travel? And I'm like, well, you can book travel right now.
Yeah.
Right now, if you want to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go do that.
Right.
I don't recommend that, but I'll do that for you. I'll hook you up to that resource,
like
you do.
Exactly.
And it's like, some people I'm sure are coming to you too, and they're saying things that they need, and sometimes it's not the right time.
Right.
And we talked a lot about that. It's the time. Timing is in everything. Absolutely. It's just in everything.
Time and season on everything.
You have no idea what God has in store for you, or for your business, or for your vision. Absolutely. I heard Lisa Nichols, and I was telling you about that on that Teachable Summit. She said, the plan that you've been given, the seed that you've been planted in your mind, if you believe it, if you've been given that, it's there for you.
It is.
It's not just some random thing that you're thinking wild and crazy. As my father-in-law used to say, thoughts of grandeur, delusional thoughts of grandeur. I'll even take it a step further, because I used to say things like, I want to change the world, or I want to leave a big legacy behind, and he would just roll his eyes and, not negative, but just roll his eyes like, oh boy, here she goes again with this crazy ideas and stuff. But the reality is that if you've got that dream, and it's a big dream, for those of us that have big dreams, we didn't get them by accident.
That's true. 100%.
And I think every person that comes into our lives is there for a reason.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I'm in your life for a reason. You're in my life for a reason. Absolutely. And everybody you touch each day is the same.
Absolutely.
You don't, maybe not for a big deal. Maybe it's just for a little deal.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just to tell them one thing that they needed to hear, and then you're out of their life.
Right.
But it's that serving that person with your kindness, your being, your energy.
Absolutely.
Which is important.
Absolutely.
Especially now.
Especially right now, when there is so much fear and uncertainty going on. I heard a saying that said, if you're living in the future, or if you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you are depressed, you're living in the past. To be present is to be in the now and what you do at this very moment. And it's so difficult because in and of our own mentality, we're thinking about future things, how to prepare for it. We're thinking about past things, how that affected, could it have been different? There's all these processes that happen in our normal mindset. But to really keep your mind present is to be able to create the reality that you want to see in front of you, no matter what happened behind you.
Right.
And that's important, you know?
Absolutely.
So I think that is very true. When you have a seed, I always like to say, if you've been given a seed, then the Most High will always give you the tools to be able to manifest that seed.
And not only that, but let me tell you the thing, and you know this to be true, and you know this to be true, it doesn't necessarily mean in that moment.
Absolutely.
That is the key.
Absolutely.
That is the key takeaway for me this year.
Absolutely.
Is that it has been 22 years of building.
Yeah.
And I feel like at this point, I am finally in the moment and space where I am supposed to be for the next 50 years.
That's excellent.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like
purpose.
It's that for sure.
Absolutely.
It's just an awakening and transformation.
Absolutely.
And I've talked about it in my columns and with my friends and family as well. You know, this has been a year of metamorphosis, of cocooning.
That's it.
And then all of us, as you and I both love the butterflies.
That's it.
We're all going to just do what we're supposed to do and fly and perform and be successful in just a different way.
Absolutely. And I think you said something important because that process, right, that metamorphosis process. A butterfly doesn't emerge from the cocoon without any restriction being kept on it.
For sure.
It has to push through for those wings to sprout. It has to push past those barriers that's being presented. And so often, especially as entrepreneurs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nothing is certain. We don't know what it looks like on the outside. I think COVID has shown us, even the people that work, you know, the normal 9-to-5 job process, the things that you put your hope on and your trust on and your guarantee on are volatile.
Oh, yeah.
They are not anything that is guaranteeable. And so with that, what can you be able to rely on? And people are having to take a look at that and really realize what do their guarantees lie on and what is their peace. Because if something is shakeable, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to give you peace.
Right.
So that running away or shying away from the restrictions, shying away from the tension that's being pressed on you, that's that moment that metamorphosis occurs. That's that strength that you have to be able to have and that you have to be able to use to push through so that you are a completely different creature. Because if you don't, you'll die in that cocoon.
Exactly.
And so will the dreams.
Exactly.
So that is important, I think, and that's one reason I love butterflies is they literally show you the process of life. Those that push through, you soar.
They fly.
If you stay in the spot that you're at, realize that it's not going to be the same. This is not your forever. Your cocoon is not your forever.
No.
Your caterpillar is not your forever.
No.
And so you've got to continue to push forward until you become that butterfly that's soaring.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what this has shown us.
That's what all of this has shown us.
That's it.
And that's the thing that I think, because I mean, people literally, I don't know what they've done with you, but they'll call, because you know I had all the heart stuff right before COVID. And oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like, everything's cool. I ain't dead. God ain't done. I'm not worried. If I was supposed to die, I would have died.
Right.
Didn't die.
Purpose.
Not done. I ain't worried. I ain't worried about being at home because I've been at home.
Right.
I know how to be at home.
Right.
I like being at home.
Yeah.
I've been making everybody come to see me at my home for 22 years. That's how much I love being at home.
You were prepared 22 years ago.
I don't want to be in no damn traffic in Houston, Texas. It's a waste of time.
It is.
And I'm cracking up because all of my friends who are like, oh, how in the world you could work at home? I don't know how in the world you could be with your husband all day long. I don't know how in the world, and on and on and on. And they're calling me now and I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I'm stuck doing your life. And I don't like it. And I'm like, well, I love you. I'm so sorry that you don't. Let me try to help you through that.
Right.
You need to get a room for you to do your thing.
Absolutely.
And he needs to get a room for him to do his thing. And the children need to be in a different room to do their thing.
Absolutely.
And all these builders that built all these houses with all this crazy open wild space, Oh yeah, girl, how are they going to do that?
I
Because
know.
when their teachers are doing the Zooms and stuff, you can hear it all over the house.
Have you seen some of these videos?
I have.
Oh my gosh.
I have.
It was hilarious. The teachers, please remember, your child is on Zoom. We can see everything
Everything going on in your house.
Yes.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Absolutely everything.
You know that commercial they got where that guy's walking outside and he's wearing a shirt, but he's wearing his pajamas?
Yes. And he's like,
thought it was supposed to be Zooming.
Yeah, I thought we were doing the
so
Zoom
funny.
thing.
It's
Yes.
like, well, yeah.
That's it.
The world that everybody's
That's
living in these days. So,
Yes,
but,
yes.
well,
Zoom has made so much money, let me tell you.
Oh my Lord.
You should get them to endorse this. You just said Zoom so many times.
Oh my goodness. Well, we'll see, sister. I don't know. We'll just see. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. You know, this whole YouTube thing is a whole new thing for me. So, you know.
You're doing it so well, though.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Absolutely.
I love visiting with my people.
Yes.
I love helping my people.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so I just feel like we together talking, even if it's just us talking, it's not directly hitting a specific industry, your people, my people, whatever, it's still going to be something important, some messages there.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, I'm used to being behind the camera, not in front of the camera.
Yes.
So I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with it, but
absolutely,
I
you do it so
appreciate
well.
you saying that because
oh
my goodness, it's a little nerve wracking. They say in my video ranking academy, which I'm a member of, which you know has taught me all this stuff on YouTube. Just push fear in the face and push record. Punch fear in the face and push record.
That's
so
it.
Every day, just get up and do it, and don't try to belabor it, because if you think about, oh, I'm going to make a mistake or I'm going to say something wrong, okay, you'll never do it.
That's it. Very true.
So you just have to do it.
And then you get to be able to decide what goes out. I think that's important. Content. We live in an age and a society where everything is DIY, you know, and so people are teaching themselves how to do things, but they're not teaching themselves by themselves. So literally this whole social atmosphere and visual and virtual atmosphere offers that. And I think it's great. The fact you have so much to offer. So to be able to put it on a page, you know, like I'm learning how to garden already. Like, okay, there's, what did she say? Papayas? Yeah, I'm going to have one right there. You know, I know where I'm going for that. That's someplace I can be able to go to, you know, and it doesn't cost you anything to offer knowledge.
No.
And I think that's important.
That's the main key. That's the main key for me right now, is this creating these courses, little mini courses, little tutorials. The children want to know how to plant seeds.
Yeah.
The parents want to know how to do business.
Absolutely.
They don't know how to do all of that. And a lot of them have been laid off. And like you said, they weren't thinking about their stability.
Right.
A lot of them were employees, and they weren't thinking about their stability.
Yeah.
And they got shook because they got laid off or furloughed or whatever they got, right?
Absolutely.
And they realized, oh no, I got to start my own business, so I'm in charge of my own stuff.
Absolutely.
And so, of course, for those that have been with me, the first, you know, I can't even tell you how many phone calls I've gotten. And I just know that I need, part of what I know how to do is, if I know how to do anything, I know how to run a company. If I know how to do anything, I know how to market a company, right? I know how to do that. I do that in my sleep. I see ads finished in my sleep. And sometimes I'll see somebody's stuff and I'll go, that could have been done so much better. And it's because that's the way, it's like a director.
It's an eye. You got
you know,
that eye.
You know, directors, I'm sure, that direct movies, when they watch another person's movie, they're thinking angles, lighting, all this stuff. It's like, that's not, they're not really watching the movie the way that we would watch the movie.
It's so critical because it's with that eye, you can't escape it.
You can't escape it. And so there's a need. There's a need. And so I feel like that's my gift right now, is to figure out, what do people want to hear from me about, and how can I make little tiny edible courses that people can consume to help them in their day-to-day, whether it be planting a garden or whether it be learning how to paint, because they just need to pass a couple of hours of time on a Saturday afternoon that normally they'd be at the zoo, or normally they'd be at a concert, and they can't go to a concert right now. And or, you know, you've heard New York,
even though you guys have tried, I've seen it.
I know. New York has shut down all Broadway until May.
That's a smart decision.
It's a smart decision, but it's a sad decision.
It is a sad decision. Absolutely.
You know, so, but giving somebody the opportunity to learn how to do it, whatever it is. You know. And I don't know if you've seen that new iPhone, girl.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, child. I saw that and I looked at Uncle Brian and I said, yep. I said, not only do I want the new one, the big one.
The big one.
I want the biggest one they
make.
make.
You have the tiny hands.
I don't even care. I want the biggest one they make. I've got my big old camera over here, and I mean, like, this started with the iPhone. This is the iPhone. This is my iPhone. Y'all know that. This is my iPhone, right? 4K, great. I want 5K over here. I want 4K Canon over there with my big camera. And I want another one over here. And it's like, what are we going to do?
That's the photographer
studio?
eye.
I want
That's it.
like 3 different angles at every single video. I got my whole thing. And I said, so I'm going to get that telephone right there that's recording this video.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a new number for that one.
Oh.
I'm going to get me a new one, that great big old iPhone, and get my new number, my old number that I've had for years on that, and use that as my backup. For another angle. And Bram was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea.
That is a smart idea.
I thought he was going to say no.
Yeah.
Said,
no, but that's smart.
That would be a good thing to do.
Yeah. And you're getting the most out of what you've already invested in it. Like, people are like, what do I do with this? No, you're like, look, do this. You just gave people, people should pay for that course. Oh, listen, I'm telling you. Things to do with your old iPhone.
Old iPhone.
That's
Use this for your old iPhone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's excellent.
Just love you.
Oh,
so fun talking. Every time we get together, it's like, dip, 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 dip,
I know. That's good about conversation, though. And I think there needs to be more.
We have so much going on, right? That are similar. So when we get together, it's like brain batting candy back and forth. It's like, I have this idea. No, I have this idea. What do you think about this?
Absolutely.
So it's awesome.
That's it. Iron sharpening iron. That's what it's supposed to be.
That's exactly right.
That's it. If your friends aren't making you better, then
there should not be.
I can't tell people what to do with their
friends. A lot of them have figured some stuff out, but
they've already figured it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes, that it really has changed a lot of things. But I think that people are lamenting the old. We're going into a new. That new, embrace the new, because if you embrace the new and you're not fighting against the current, then you're able to swim.
Yeah,
and you're
you
able
cannot
to
fight it.
Don't fight it, just let it go. Don't hold on to things that are not holding on to you. Release it. It's a time for it.
And sister, some things that are holding on to you, you might need to flick them off of you, because there's stuff that you don't need to be carrying and weighing you down either.
Absolutely.
There's that too.
Absolutely. That is not the type of struggle you need to make you better. That's not the type we're talking about, guys.
No,
not that one.
No,
that is very true.
Yeah. I want to thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate this, you guys.
Yeah.
And I look forward to being able to see
I
all
think
that
we
you
should
do.
do some more. I think
Let's
you
do
should
it.
come back and be here on a regular basis and take individually each one of these facets that you've got.
Yeah.
And us really delve deep into those and
I would love that.
share that with others so that they know how to find you. And I'll have all of her information in the comments below so that you'll be able to get that, how to get to her and how to email her and all of that kind of stuff. I hope that you found some value in our Martini talk, which wasn't a Martini talk.
No.
Oh, it's so funny. As we're going through these, they're not really Martini talks.
Yeah.
I mean, they are. For some people, they
Right.
are. I don't know if you will. Santa Claus is going to be
Yes.
tomorrow.
Okay.
And he didn't know how to make a chocolate martini, so I made him a chocolate martini, and he had told me he just never had one.
Yeah.
And so his martini talk was with a martini, but it was at like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night.
That makes sense.
So it was late and it was dark and we were drinking vodka. But I just hope that you find value in this, because there's just so many nuggets of really great inspiration from women in business
Absolutely.
on that,
Absolutely.
to how to help others, to inspire you to be better, to do better, and just to live your life sweetly. So we look forward to seeing you soon, and we hope you're having a wonderful afternoon, and we thank you again for being a part of the conversation. Take care.